a lady in white alongside a road. Holy cow, what is she doing? So let's see what questions we have only on Paranormal, True or False. It is free to subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you. Is this pillow possessed? On the right side of our screen, we will suddenly see a pillow on that couch start to move. Is this simply gravity? Now the camera rotates over towards the pillow. The camera seems low for a security camera. Is someone operating the camera? Is it simply on a tripod and somebody moved it? Because if somebody moved the camera, then they could be using a string to pull on that pillow, because the pillow is moving in the direction of the camera. So is someone just simply standing behind the camera with a string? Or is this something more sinister? I'm not convinced this one is paranormal, most likely staged. Sometimes it's invisible, other times it's camouflaged. The camera stops and starts focusing right at these trees, and we see some type of movement that's humanoid, but it's almost like that movie Predator, where it's distorting its environment, but it's not crystal clear what it is. Is this someone just attempting to recreate the movie Predator and that special effect that was used? Or is it some type of a spirit or demon, specter, whatever you want to call it, that's wandering around these woods? Is it an unknown cryptid? Well, I've tried to improve the quality of the footage, but I still can't tell exactly what this thing is, so I'm gonna rule this one as inconclusive. Is this some sort of a witch that can teleport? As these people wander through these ruins, they will suddenly go into what appears to be a cave, and when they enter it, they suddenly will see a woman. They say hello to her. She doesn't react, she doesn't respond. It looks like she's just there prying at a shrine. They decide to leave and they go back in the direction that they came from. OMG, run, it's a butt crack. Sorry, I was not expecting that. When they come out, they have a discussion about this person that was back in there, and that's why he said, let's get out for a few minutes. The girls decide to go first this time and go see what's going on. And when they get to that same area where he saw the woman standing at what looked like a shrine, the girls say, well, she's gone. Once again, they decide to leave, and there she is right in front of them, blocking their exit. Is she a nun? Is she a widow? It's possible this cave has a circle, and she circled around to the exit, or it has another exit, and she circled around to it. It's definitely creepy, but I don't think it's a ghost or paranormal. Is there more than just this building abandoned? As this camera is rolling and we're shown this abandoned building, there are actually weird noises that are actually happening as well, but they sound more like a soundtrack to me than anything real. But as he gets up here, there's a doorway on the left-hand side where it looks like something with eyes is peering out at him. Let me know what you think on this one. It's very brief and very subtle. I've slowed the footage down as well as zoomed in. See those little lights there? I'm not sure if they're eyes or if that's a window and we're just looking at city lights on the outside of the building. I wish that we had a better visual into that room. I'm not convinced it's paranormal. Is this a spirit at Stonehenge? So they did discover in the past, I don't know, 2 decades, that Stonehenge has a lot of bodies buried around it. So they speculate that a lot of rituals occurred here. So knowing that, is this that we're about to see, this white spectral thing, is it a ghost from one of those rituals? Did they actually sacrifice human beings here? Or is this simply a camera glitch caused by the angles and the shadows and the light? Is it simply a person that when they're in the light, they're kind of washed out, but then when they step into the shadow, they kind of become camouflaged? So, would a dark gray color being worn create that type of effect? Because it suddenly appears, I'm thinking it might just be real. Is this a flying ghost? We see a lady dressed all in white standing on the side of the road. It appears that she has long dark hair. Her back is to us, which is why we can't see her face. And as the car goes by, it looks like she was facing downwards. Now she's flying. She lifts straight up into the air. Where is she going? How does she do this? Her motion is just so effortless, graceful, and beautiful. And now, as she returns to earth, her dress billows around her. Did she get rejected at the pearly gates and is forced to return? Or is this just a staged hoax in which this dress and wig is draped around a balloon that is being tethered and controlled? The way that she sways when cars go by her does give me the impression that she's already hanging before she starts hanging. So I do think this is a hoax or staged. I'm just not sure if they're using balloons or some type of string and hanger mechanism. But either way, I'm not convinced it's paranormal. It's cool and creepy. Is this water cryptid an unknown species? So we have a bird and a large skinny thing. The bird literally will stop and sit on this thing as if it's a bench. So is this some type of a log and that's why the bird tries to sit on it? Or is it an unknown species? When I was in third grade, I had to write a report about an anaconda. So when I see this image of this round, skinny object, all I see is a snake, an anaconda. This is one of the largest reptile species. If I recall correctly, I think these things can get up to like 30 feet. They spend a lot of their time in water, and they're just absolutely huge beast. So when I look at this, I'm looking at something where, is it trying to mate? Is that what the circular rings are around it, where it's actually trying to mate? Or is it actually in the process of attacking something underwater? I do suspect that it might be mating, and that's why it's moving in such an odd manner. when they mate, they will literally twine around each other. The other thing that could be happening is it's struggling and it's dying, and that's why it's moving in such a weird way. And maybe that bird is just being taken advantage of the situation. But either way, I'm not convinced it's an unknown species. What is this black ring-shaped cloud? As the camera points skyward, we see a cloud that is just a black circling ring. Did space aliens cause this? Is this the beginning of a black hole? Did a spaceship cause this? Actually, this is a normal phenomenon that happens around the world. Typically, it happens when there's an explosion of some sort. It's all in the heat from the explosion versus the coolness of the atmosphere, and the wind blowing in just the right way can capture the smoke from the explosion and create these ring clouds. But it's actually smoke, not a cloud. So before you see one of these, you may have heard the explosion. Is this a cryptid? Just like that, we see this unusual creature that has a tiny body, a larger head. There is a guy that is inside of that, what are they called, blinds? And he's looking out through a little window and he sees this thing. But what is this thing? It kind of reminds me of a curious monkey, kind of like this hairless monkey. I can't help but wonder if that's just CG, if it's just, putting a skirt on a monkey and then painting this monkey a greenish color. This is one of those where when I look at the footage, I feel like something's off. Like the background is too dull versus this creature. I don't know. What do you guys think on this one? Is a spirit stalking this lady? In the foreground, we see this lady speaking to the computer, but behind her, something walks by. She turns her head quickly to see what that was because she saw it in her monitor. Now she gets up to go see what just walked by. Could this just be a shadow from somebody walking by outside? Could it be a camera glitch where it's just simply not capturing the full body of somebody that walked by? It doesn't really look like a shadow because it does look like it's a 3D something, but at the same time it still kind of looks like a shadow. I'm not sure. Okay, so she gets up from the desk there and goes over and looks to see what's going on. She comes back to her desk and continues her conversation. It appears that she's going to take her camera and show us something, but all of a sudden, things get crazy. You had me at possibly real right up until you do the jump scare. And that image is so obviously cut and paste that it just stands out as fake. Nice try though. I do appreciate it. And really good acting too. Are these spirit orbs? As the camera is pointed towards this bed in this bedroom, we see this light bounce in and out of frame. Are these spirit orbs? Is it a bug? Is it reflection from something metal that's being hit by the sun? And it's being blown by the wind like a wind chime? Is it a cat toy? This looks to me like it's spider webs. The web is reflecting some light that's coming from behind the camera, and the spider is just incredibly busy. And that's why it's bouncing so much. What caused this object to fall over? So it looks like somebody is using their cell phone to point at a security camera footage, and towards the bottom right of the screen, we will suddenly see something fall over. I'm not exactly sure what this item was. It does look like Gravity 1. Unfortunately, the footage is just too grainy and too unstable for me to tell for sure what fell over and what exactly is going on. So this one is inconclusive. If you agree or disagree with my analysis, please leave a comment below. You will find links to social media platforms for this channel as well as for Jim Riley in the description below. Be safe and don't investigate alone. If you appreciate this type of analytical analysis, please subscribe. And remember, question everything. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.